Okay. So you might remember last week walking through the field of words, just reconnecting with some of the ideas and thoughts that we played with in that first couple of weeks. And there's a few more this week, things that have been added since then. And there are a few words and concepts that I've written onto our lexicon that I haven't quite got around to laminating yet. So if there's a particular word or an idea that's caught your attention or resonates with you in some way, and you can't find it on the floor, that's okay. Just stand in an empty space and you can claim that word anyway. So if you find a word that draws you today, okay, just pause by that word. With the box. Thank you. I don't choose a word. You're going to a word? No, that's all right. That's the word you can choose. Here we go. The movement's slowing down. Oh, there's a cluster of people around a cluster of words. That's pretty cool. So, Angela. You ready to attend to each other as well now?
I am sitting next to you going along for a ride, which I was thinking more of in terms of the training in general, and you know, in those moments of kind of feeling like I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing or I'm really not getting this, to just like, you know, trying to find that space where I can just trust and go with it, go with the process and go along for the ride and trust that there'll be enough feedback coming in that it's all landing somewhere.
Fantastic. Pick a person.
Voila. I connected with the picture.
Vola being the belly surfaces.
I actually didn't know that's what it meant. But yeah, I think gravity is a pretty, it's illuminated its qualities a little bit more to us. And it really makes our Earth a pretty special place. And it's made this method possible. So kudos to gravity and Earth.
Let's hear it for gravity! Yeah!
Like, and it sounds as funny like gravity because it's such a term that is so, it seems to me it's been built around science and stuff, but it has a sense of mysticism all of a sudden and pliability. So get on your backs and roll around like a dog. And, yeah.
Mine's slow because I tend to be too speedy. With everything, I have to persuade myself to slow down. So that's the reason that I picked this one.
So I've got affordance. And just in you know, obviously the last few weeks I've been here, already sort of noticed changes in yourself, and in essence what the method allows you, or allows yourself to go sort of forward with, and just recognising that you can actually go further than you might have realised.
And what was your word?
Affordance.
Affordance. Fantastic.
Anybody?
afford somebody else an opportunity to speak.
Okay. Mine is the impossible, but I see it as possible, and I use the imagination, because then I will get past possible to making it, who is it? Dawn, elegant.
Yes. My word is imagination. And throughout these 3 weeks, I feel that if some of the imageries as we do ATMs really resonates with me, and I don't have to understand how my body works, but I can feel and sense it, and also imagine what's going on inside my body. So yeah, I found it really helpful.
Cool.
I'm next to intention because intention and Zoran, and it was because of something happened in Zoran's lesson, I think, about the foot, sitting and picking up the foot, and how much a difference it made if your intention was, you said now do it as if you're intending to put it on your foot on across your other knee, and how it makes such a difference in how you can move depending on what you're thinking you're doing, even though it's the same thing. Yeah, it's a very garbled expression.
I chose curiosity and timing, but it's got more to do with what Melanie got, because sometimes when you're trying to look at the timing of something, you get a sense of a rhythm, and then the rhythm makes an image, and then you become curious to why that image is there, and then you go, oh, if I change my timing, does the image change? So, like that same thing. Ryan knows. I had this amazing elephant thing, with a pole under its trunk. So if I just saw myself as an elephant, I could do it. And then I could get my trunk up, which was my leg. But if I didn't, if I changed the image to trying to think of something like maybe a fan shifter, then it changed the timing of the movement. Yeah. You want to give it to me?
Mine's a little bit more straightforward, I think.
It's not straight at all.
Rotation, you're right, it's not straightforward. I stopped at rotation because I guess when I first started these 3 weeks, from a biomechanical point of view, I guess I kind of thought rotation. Thought to myself, I knew rotation. It's the rotation of joints. But I've learnt that rotation involves so many other parts than just the joints, and that's a really big concept for me. And so yeah, the eyes, the eyes, and also rotation, how a whole movement can be combined as well.
Ready for anything? Is effort. And so that really resonates for me, because I was sitting between, sorry Anna, reducing effort. Sitting between Anna and Lockie, having the two contrasts. Sorry. But no, it was really very, 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 very good. Informative, yes, thank you. And so reducing effort for me is not just about the physical effort, but reducing effort is about everything in life. So there's lots of things that I could apply that to in my life. And that's what I intend to do. Who's next?
Yeah. I chose satiety because I think it's a concept that I'm not particularly familiar with when it comes to food and drink and
work and what have you. So for me, it encompasses, it encompasses awareness of when you've had enough and being able to feel and sense that, and also feeling comfortable to give yourself permission to say that's enough.
I choose minimize the effort of gravity, because if I put my legs more together, I found it's much more easy to walk and things like that.
I chose possible. Feels like, yeah, way more possibilities. Like it's just expanded, you know, like just how the end we can just, that everything kind of builds on everything. And there's a, and I can't remember who quoted it, and you would know, Zoran, what you attend to becomes reality. William James. So rather than, I mean, you know, things can feel impossible, but rather than focus on that, just kind of know in the background that anything is possible. So it kind of just opens that up for when it, you know, not forcing it, but just allowing it, so that potential is always there. And it feels like, even though it's like in the movements we've been doing here, it's kind of expanded possibilities for me just generally in my life. Like I'm just, yeah, so it's kind of expanding out, not just on the physical plane.
I also choose the effect of gravity. I always been attracted about this sensation and what's happened in myself between the sky and the earth, and in the middle are us and me. And if I became an expert about how it works, this force, I minimize effort, and I could be able to do possible the impossible, and also maybe sometimes be an elegant lady.
Cool.
And I really enjoy it.
I've got resilience because it was the first word I encountered on the periphery. But I read, look, when I start to actually do something, I actually kind of push. I just keep going. And this is an important word for me because I need to give myself more time to bounce back. Yeah. And for me, being on the periphery actually allows me to do that. Yeah. I really enjoy when I'm right in the middle and we're all learning together, but I really need my time out on the periphery too. So it was just the right word at the right place.
I'm sitting in between learning through contrast and quality, and I found really the concept of learning through contrast is just excellent for everything, for movement, for life. Go to the countries we never really been before, India or any country very different to what we experience, move differently, and then feel it's really widen our experience, and it gives the quality of understanding movement. Thank you.
Mine was learn through contrast. I think when I first saw it, it sparked something for me, but I seen there going, learning through comparison, not comparison, commonality as well. Finding patterns or ways of doing things, a lot of similar ways that have a commonality or a theme. So yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about that, but yeah. that's what sparked me.
I've stood next to feeling. I've had my own agenda running parallel with the agenda here. And what I've found is that they've kind of coalesced together, so that I'm finding more and more distinction between feelings and feeling, and getting those finer gradations of difference between feelings and feeling, and all the different forms of feeling, sensing that you can have, that we've been exposed to. So it's been really, really amazing. Thank you.
So, everyone, I think? I chose rest. It's been a very busy month for me, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and particularly having the opportunity to be part of this group. You are a special bunch of people, and we've had a lot of fun together. I've continued to learn things in this environment from your contributions and from listening to Susan and Zoran, and in terms of the things that I've engaged with. And oftentimes I actually don't like learning very much. It's something for me that often brings with it a sense of incompetence. That, you know, if there's something that I don't know yet, or don't know well, or don't know much about, that's not necessarily a comfortable place to hang out. But if I get curious about something, or if I can explore or problem solve, or find some different way of doing something, then that's where I start to enjoy the process. And obviously that's happened. So it's been great to be part of that. So you're now officially floorfish. You formed a relationship with the ground that perhaps you hadn't known in the same way before. It does set you apart from other people, and sometimes that's a nice thing, and sometimes that can feel a little uncomfortable, that other people don't quite understand or see the world the same way we do now. So this is why it's really important to have each other and to have your study buddy to check in with or check up on occasionally and say, how you going? How's life for you? It's different. But most of the time, most of us who've been around for a while can look back and say it's been a wonderful journey, and we expect that it will continue to be so. So, one kind of final request is that, at the risk of perturbing this really wonderful relationship we have, it'd be fantastic to have a few more people. So from your experience now, if you can think of anyone you know that might be interested, you know, maybe you've got insights or experiences that you could share in a way that would help them to see the possibilities as well. So if you come across that opportunity, please take it. So before we go home, we'll do one final ATM. So if you could just grab your card and any that are nearby and pop them in a pile. We are definitely in Melbourne in May. I think it's the 1st to the 12th. Something, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.